Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on the Star Wars universe. I'm your host, timvanautreve. Joining me, as always, are Josh the Tosh, internet famous, theme song interrupter.
I didn't interrupt
Mason.
the theme song.
Well,
Hi, everyone.
I mean, you interrupted with a theme song.
Oh, I installed the Snapchat on my phone.
Yep, Josh wants to talk to the teenagers these days.
I don't want to.
I have to.
Through this method.
I had to install Snapchat in order to communicate with my children because I couldn't come up with some way that they would actually all reply to me. So Snapchat was the only answer. And now I send them streaks.
So many snaps.
Streaks.
I'm going to call them snaps.
Streaks. You only do streaks when you're sending like just a snap to keep your streak alive.
Well, I'm just going to do snaps.
Okay.
A series of snaps.
You're going to mess them up. They're not going to know what to do.
A series of snaps. That just sounds hilarious.
And that you hear is my wife, Jennifer Van Autreve.
Hi.
That was for you, T-Dog. Thought he would like that. He sent in an email, said he missed it. I hadn't done it in a while. And Maximus is joining us again. My 3-month-old infant baby. He's been going to daycare. He's doing great.
Yeah, he's got his first cold already. From daycare.
Yep.
Day one.
Day one.
Mm-hmm.
She quit her job that first day. Right at me. She's like, I can't do this.
I say that every day so far that I've had to go to work. It's so hard.
You've said that every day since we got married.
No, I haven't.
I can't do this. So today, we couldn't and didn't come up with a better idea than catching up on the 19 pages worth of fan feedback we have. So we're all going to take turns reading feedback. Are you ready for that, Jenny?
Yep.
You got the document all pulled up in the official document location?
Official document location.
I got your document right here. Max is looking bright-eyed. He's ready to get on here. I talked to him like Vader earlier. Told him to join me. And then we'd take over the recording studio and rule it together. Here we go. This one's from T-Dog. Hey.
How about that?
Yeah, it's not the same email, but I was talking about. It's a super older one. What's up, SWNU crew? I'm glad to hear Jen and the baby are doing well. Congrats to you and your family. Thank you. I'm originally from Michigan, Lions fan. Oh, they just took our boy, Christopher Jones.
Christian.
Oh.
He's so much our boy, you don't even know his name.
Oh, I messed it up. Sorry. I didn't get any sleep last night.
He's probably going to repeat that phrase about 15 times.
Christian Jones. That's the phrase she meant.
I didn't get any
But live in the Cincinnati area. Hooday.
Yeah.
Surrounded by Bengals fans.
Bengals.
Thank you for your Bears destroying them today. You're welcome. I can't believe I was actually cheering for the Bears. I saw a TV spot where Rey is holding Kylo's lightsaber. I wonder what the circumstances of that are. Hopefully Jen can go with you guys to see episode 8. I'm so pumped for it. Are we really? No way.
Yes, we are still.
No, because I was in February.
I seriously feel like we're rereading emails. I think something got screwed up.
No, it didn't.
No, because I deleted them.
We are still that far behind.
I was pasting things from February 14th. I wasn't reading them.
Correct.
I wonder what the circumstances of that are. Hopefully Jen can go with blah, blah, blah. I'm so pumped for it. I know the episodes may be delayed, but always looking forward to the next one. Spoiler alert. I've heard Rey is actually a nobody.
You heard it from me.
But I've also heard she is Kylo's sister. Josh, what have you heard?
That she's nobody.
Keep up the great work. T-Dog. You ready, Jen?
Ready for what?
She's furiously trying to figure out
I can't ever remember
where the feedback
which...
is.
It's in your Drive.
Even though it's in
Drive
Google
app.
Drive.
It's in Google Drive.
Shared with her.
It's not in
The only
Evernote?
place anyone
No.
should do anything.
I thought it was in our Evernote.
No, we've abandoned Evernote.
Yeah.
On the side of the road.
The syncing was not working.
Like an old cat.
I am considering abandoning Evernote for just about everything I've ever used it for.
What have you used it for other than that?
Well, I actually used it for keeping notes on everything.
That's unreal.
every day I made a daily note, and I would have it separated into segments between personal and work life, and I would have a checklist for each one. And then I would copy the task that I didn't complete onto the next day. And I did that for like 3 years.
That's pretty
within Evernote.
ridiculous.
Now I do it in a notebook.
You should do it in OneNote.
I actually really like it on paper. It helps me.
Well, you could do it. You could get a stylus, and then you could write it in OneNote.
I have a stylus, and I
then
have
it
attempted that.
Digitize it for you.
I have attempted that, and it didn't
With
work
OneNote?
out for me. Yeah.
Because I use it at work, and it works really well.
There's something about the stylus part that I don't like, and I don't know. I just like flipping through the pages. I'm an IT guy, and I just can't help it. I finally gave in.
Sense.
It's because I gave in to my actual desire instead of my thought that is always pervasive in my head that I have to do everything as progressive as humanly possible. And I gave into the thing that was actually working for me.
It's not about being progressive. It's about being efficient and having it available on any platform.
I understand that.
Because you know where notebooks don't work?
Yeah, everywhere else.
Everywhere.
I know. And so for the things that I need to have quick reference to, I put them in 1Password. So they're all encrypted, and I have access to all my account numbers and everything else.
All I have is Star Week availability.
Okay, search
What's it
for
called?
the thing called feedback.
This is why we don't get any feedback read.
Or you can hit shared with me.
I already did that.
All right.
Big news.
It's not there.
The feedback starts with an F.
The Bears are going to sign big free agents.
Why can't I?
Big time.
Big time. Everybody's pumped. Bears Nation is...
Did you see
Going
my
crazy.
Trubisky jersey?
Yeah, it looked good.
Oh, it's like the new style. It's really cool.
Yeah, it looked nice. You did a good job.
I also got a Christian Pulisic jersey for all the football listeners out there.
Did you get a Christian Jones jersey
I did not get a Christian Jones jersey.
with the Lions?
A Lions Christian Jones jersey.
You think Ndamukong Suh's going to come back to the Lions?
No. I
No.
think he'll end up on like some completely dysfunctional team like the Raiders.
Or Tampa Bay or something?
Yeah. I don't think a team that respects itself would ever hire him.
How many fans do you think
How
you just
do you
insulted?
expect to keep track of what's going on here?
You go top to bottom,
Yeah,
And
just
then
like
you
you would
delete-
read anything you experience in life.
except for
Okay.
anime.
Yeah.
Or manga.
Keep up the great work, T-Dog. Okay, so then where does the next...
The next words.
The next words is the subject, or the pilot, if you will.
Okay, but I don't know who it's from.
If
Right, you get
you'd
to
have
that
to scroll down
the
if you
end.
wanted to figure that out.
This letter never ends.
Right, so just
Keep...
It's
yeah.
going to
be
be a
surprised.
surprise. I don't know who this is from.
I'm pretty sure he left who it is from off, but I can tell you who it's from.
Okay. This pilot is not as cool as my last pilot. Greetings, my fellow Star Wars nerds. As of this letter, I have completed my 5th and, according to my wife, final theatrical viewing of The Last Jedi. Per my tradition, I had my first 2 viewings on the night of the premiere. I then took each of my children to separate viewings, numbers 3 and 4. My final viewing was during the last free weekend I will have until my kids are on spring break. This viewing was one of my favorites as I was one of only 5 viewers in the theater.
And by himself. The best way to watch a movie.
Let me start by saying that I enjoyed The Last Jedi.
There's
Yes.
Lego people accessories flying all over the place.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with Mason that seeing it a second time changed how I rated this movie. However, I do not agree with this method of reading all the spoilers before going to see the movie for the first time. I support Tim and Jen's stance of watching the movie without any spoilers allows you to get that first experience with an audience of fellow Star Wars fans. I feel that this movie was so dense that it took at least 2 viewings to digest all of its content. I thoroughly enjoyed each of my viewings and feel that over time and the context that comes with it, the majority of fans who currently dislike the film will come to appreciate it for what it is, a flawed masterpiece that is the second film in a planned trilogy. Even when The Empire Strikes Back was released in 1980, everyone panned it, claiming that it was not as good as Star Wars and that it was a big lumbering mechanical beast that leans on the special effects too much.
I don't think that opinion has wavered, unfortunately.
Why didn't we read this when we talked about The Last Jedi?
It wasn't in before that episode.
Yeah, but didn't we do like 3 episodes?
We did 2. And it wasn't in by the second one.
Okay, now on to, I guess because you had to watch it 5 times.
Yeah.
Now on to the nitty gritty. I'm sure you have all read this and discussed this in depth on Discord, but due to my crazy work schedule and strange sleep patterns, I am not able to be on the same time as the bulk of the rest of Nerd Squadron. Ryan Johnson addressed the issue of Luke's appearance during his Force illusion on Crate. The reason, according to Johnson, that Luke's use of the hero's saber, Anakin, Luke, and Rey, did not throw up a red flag for Kylo is because Kylo did not know that it had been broken in two. We, as the audience, could see that the release of energy was due to the splitting of the hilt, but to Kylo, all he knew was that there was an explosion that knocked him out. By the time that he came to, Rey gathered up the broken piece and escaped. So when Kylo faces off with Luke on the surface, he is assuming that Rey passed the saber off to him. In reality, Luke is intentionally using the hero's saber to trigger Kylo's rage and keep him distracted. My take on Rey's dark side cave experience is that it is showing and amplifying her worst fears. Just like the cave in Empire Strikes Back and the Yoda arc of the Clone Wars Season 6. In both, Luke and Yoda were confronted by their worst fears. Luke was afraid that he would become the next Darth Vader, and Yoda was afraid that he would fail to protect everyone. In The Last Jedi, Rey is shown her worst fear, that she was all alone in the galaxy. I feel that she even alludes to this when she is talking to Luke in the library tree, when she talks about the Force awakening in her and needing someone to show her her place in the galaxy. This is a really long email.
It's after 5 viewings. There's lots of mulling over that occurred.
Speaking of Rey's parentage, I don't believe that we have a conclusive answer within The Last Jedi. Kylo has proven that he is not beyond manipulating the truth to get his desired results. He tells Rey that Luke lied to her about what happened at the new Jedi Academy. Additionally, when the information about her parents is revealed to Kylo, it is after the two of them were having a lengthy Force Skype session talking about Rey's experience in the cave. As I mentioned above, I believe that this was showing her worst fears, but when they touched through the Force, Kylo... I lost my spot. Not only saw Rey's worst fears, she is a nobody and that her parents were nobodies, but Rey saw his as well, that he would not become more powerful than his grandfather and would be redeemed like he was. Hang on a second.
So it's worth noting that he didn't lie to Rey about Luke potentially lying.
He's wiggling out of me.
Luke didn't tell Rey the complete truth the first time, if you recall.
Yeah,
a much maligned...
after us arguing about it a million times.
We didn't argue about whether he lied to her.
Yeah.
We agreed that he didn't tell her the truth the first time. What we disagreed about is the level of anger and hatred. You're of team Luke wanted to murder his nephew. We're of team Luke was scared and realized his fault immediately.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're in this again.
We're not.
I feel exactly what you guys said. I feel that he was scared. I just feel that he was dishonest about it.
The first time when he told Rey, he was dishonest.
Okay, then we agree on everything.
I'm still not 100% convinced that Kylo saw anything in the
You
first
can't
place.
ever just leave it as us agreeing.
I was trying to tell you where we were.
I thought you were trying to keep the argument going. Okay. Where was it?
Again, I was just telling where we were.
We do have a Discord channel. You can get to it off the StarWarsNerdsUnite.com website.
It's a paragraph that ends with, I'm still not 100% convinced that Kylo saw anything.
Just that he was manipulating her. It is true that on the surface, Canto Bight did nothing to further the plot of the movie.
In my humble opinion, the same could be said about Bespin in The Empire Strikes Back. There was no forward movement in the plot as Han, Leia, and Chewie hung out waiting for Vader to make his grand entrance. The Empire already knew they were there, as Lando explained that they got there before the Falcon crew. But just like the Bespin, Canto Bight served as a way for the audience to get a better insight into the state of the galaxy. Yes, the First Order has taken over in a matter of just a few days, but there are still planets unaffected by the war. Yes, the majority of the rich in galaxy are war profiteers, but they are also supplying the resistance. This sequence also gives Finn's character greater purpose. Before embarking on this adventure, all he wanted to do was run away, the same as in The Force Awakens. It wasn't until Rose stopped him and took him on the mission to Canto Bight did he realize that he really was a rebel with a cause. Additionally, this mission reinforced why Admiral Holdo did not want to share with him her plan to save the Resistance. Heck, Finn had to act as the voice of reason when he presented the idea to Poe in the first place. When told that they were being tracked by a single ship, Poe immediately jumped to the conclusion of just blowing up the big ship. Poe, for some inexplicable reason, cannot see beyond the first objective. Even when he storms onto the bridge to talk to Holdo, he immediately jumps to the conclusion that they are abandoning ship and fleeing in death traps. When he sent Finn and Rose to Canto Bight, and they allowed DJ to overhear about the shuttles, Poe was the one responsible for the First Order detecting their escape. It wasn't until he was sitting on the shuttle with Leia and witnessed Holdo's sacrifice did he really understand what it meant to be a leader instead of a hero. As an aside, I can completely believe a fleet admiral not telling a squad leader every detail of her plan to escape the imminent doom of their fleet. Not to mention the fact that the same squad leader was just demoted for not following orders. If I had pulled the same stunts that Poe pulled in the opening minutes of The Last Jedi while I was in uniform, I would not be a part of Nerd Squadron, as I would still be sitting in Leavenworth. Anyways, I noticed that this email is already way too long, so I will rattle off these. So I will just keep continuing and make it longer. I will rattle off these last few thoughts in short order.
You should have rattled them off as bullet points, as we've established in previous decorum discussions.
Okay. Still
preferred method, if possible.
DJ is the perfect representation of a true neutral character. A neutral character might fight against a band of marauders, only to switch sides to save the marauders from being totally exterminated. DJ is loyal to just one person, himself. I refuse to believe that Phasma is dead. I think they are using her for the trope of the baddie who appears to be dead only to reappear in the next episode.
She's dead, for sure. Rian Johnson has confirmed it.
She's dead.
Dead.
General Hux is going to blast Kylo Ren General Hux going to blast Kylo while he was unconscious, only to slyly slip his hand off of his blaster when the new Supreme Leader Stirs was out freaking standing. I, too, ship Poe and Rey. I'll have to address my thoughts on Yoda and Luke for a later email, because if I keep going, this email will miss yet another feedback episode.
Or 5.
And I'm already waiting for my email that I sent just before The Last Jedi to be read. We probably just read that last week.
No, we got it a few weeks ago.
So to that end, I hope this finds all three of you having a good 2018 so far, and I am enjoying hearing Max's small contributions to the broadcast.
Good timing, boy.
We're getting bigger and bigger.
Natural.
That coughing there. Also, in episode 139, it sounded like he was trying to say, "Why are Mommy and Uncle Josh arguing? Please stop." Good thing.
No.
He was on Josh's side.
Exactly.
As always, may the force be with you. Nerd11 signing out. P.S. Rebels will only be airing for 3 Mondays, February 19th, 26th, and March 5th. Only 3.5 hours of content remains. Also, I am holding to the theory that Kanan, Ahsoka, and Ezra will be replacing the father, the son, and the daughter on Mortis.
How cool would that have?
Not been.
Awesome. Spoilers.
Just some fan.
No, that's the next email.
Oh, well, okay, so this one just ends with no
That is the end.
salutation. Yeah,
He gave the salutation and then the postscript. You don't re-salutate after you've postscript.
It just all blended together for me.
Well, it's because you just read monotonously like it's a list of dead people in the last 80
I
years.
don't read monotonously.
We're talking about...
I do not read monotonously.
We are talking
Ever.
about The Last Jedi. So, Last Jedi came out on digital today.
Yeah.
So I purchased it.
Is that like on DVD?
Just digital. Not on
I still always
printed
say
media.
everything is out on DVD, even though we don't even have a DVD player anymore, or like ever have DVDs.
So I started watching the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson loves the characters and the creatures.
Yeah, he does. He loves everything.
So much of that was cut out. And like the father years,
Yeah.
I'm so glad they pared that scene down. It was borderline too long as it was, and it was going to be way longer. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm most excited for the commentary. Because he's excited about everything. Like, he's very articulate, and he knows what he likes, and he loves talking about it.
My favorite scene that they cut so far, I'm about 3/4 of the way through, was toward the beginning after Finn wakes up and BB-8 comes out and Finn's looking all emo. There's so many people just sitting around being all emo on the camera
Yeah.
in this movie. BB-8 comes up and tries to cheer Finn up, and he plays a video of Rey kissing him on the forehead and telling him, they'd see each other soon.
Yeah.
And Finn turns and goes, "It was creepy that you recorded that, right?"
Yeah.
That sounds like a good thing.
It was really funny. I kind of wish they hadn't cut that out. Anyway. That's all I have to say.
I'm waiting with bated breath. 2 more. Is it next week? Yeah, it's either next week or the week after it comes out on Blu-ray.
I know it's for rental like the week we're in Disney, which is it's next week.
2 weeks.
No, next week.
Next week.
Not yet. I mean, in my mind,
We
it's not
leave on
next week
Wednesday.
until Thursday.
We
Right.
leave on Wednesday.
I know. So it's not next week until Thursday for me. Travel days don't count. Because travel days are so stressful.
It's not going to be that
but it's
stressful.
only like a 2-hour flight.
It's stressful.
there's
It's
no
not the
layovers.
duration of flight. It's the fact that there are tiny little children in a place that they don't want to be.
Max is
Speaking
gonna be
of,
happy.
we had to drive home from Schaumburg with Max in the car
Screaming the whole way?
on Sunday.
Half the
Yep.
way.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
we
the
had to
worst.
stop twice. It was like we didn't get home until
One.
after 1 a.m, and it was the daylight savings.
yeah,
so
so
we
you're
lost an hour
super hosed.
already. Oh my god, it was awful.
I had slept most of the day because I felt terrible.
And then
I got
he
some sort of
stayed
stomach
home from
thing.
work, slept again,
All day. I've been up since noon yesterday.
and then he didn't go to bed last night.
I couldn't fall asleep. All I could think about was work.
Oh my
He's so
gosh.
sensitive. He can't take. He's like, something's
that
wrong
hour
with me.
just messed me up.
Something's wrong. Like, yeah, you missed 1 hour of sleep.
Wow.
It did. It
Buck up.
jacked me up.
My kids are already back on schedule.
Not me.
Took a day.
Tim's gonna take a couple weeks to get regulated.
Well, I'm going to get all messed up in Disney World.
Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah,
do you realize what's going to happen? They're going to be up at 4:30 in the morning moving around like, let's go. We got to be queued up in the line.
You can't. It doesn't even open that early.
Yeah, how is that gonna affect me? I'm not sleeping in their room.
I know. But he's going to want to do meals together.
So?
They're on a completely different timeline than us.
You're on your own timeline, I think.
I'm on a lot of things.
We'll just wake
I'm
up
used
and
to
do
not
whatever
getting
we
any
do.
sleep, so I'll be fine.
We are, we're going to Disney World next
We'll
week.
probably just eat in our villa. Like,
Breakfast at least,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna
pack
have
lunch.
the kids bring food for lunch, and then we'll stop and get something every day for dinner, probably. Or
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Just some fan mail from Maddie. Maddie and I had a long conversation today.
Did you?
I think we cut you guys out after about the third email.
I did notice that there was only a couple.
Yeah, it went on for much more than that. Just a heads up, this entire email is my thoughts from your most recent podcast. So who knows what that means?
yeah,
Because it wasn't whatever was published last.
Topic or go home.
As always, thank you for taking the time to read my last letter. Okay, so as I have previously mentioned, I'm from Alabama, as Tim would say.
Thank you.
And I was amused when you were debating who says y'all. I say y'all constantly, and so does everyone I come in contact with on a daily basis. I've kept myself from saying y'all in my emails to prevent sparking a discussion like this. Also, I live in central Alabama, St. Clair County, if that means anything. If not, it's kind of near Birmingham.
Yeah, we know Birmingham.
Why do you know Birmingham?
Go there a lot. We drove through there.
I thought it was
On
like
our
a
way to
famous city.
Tallahassee.
Old Tallahassee. I don't think Birmingham's that famous for anything. I can't think of anything really.
The Blues?
No.
Mobile. That was where,
Yeah, that's down
Forrest
on the
Gump is
coast,
from.
though.
wasn't it? Wasn't he from Mobile, Alabama?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought it was a smaller town, like Yalbro or something.
I don't remember.
I don't think he was from Mobile.
We're going to get like 12 emails.
Yeah. The Kingdom Keepers book are not sci-fi, but walk on the line of fantasy. They're about a group of teenagers who save the Disney parks. It sounds very lame the way I describe it, but they're not. They're my favorite book series. Is this the movie that just came out? Is that
No, that's
A Wrinkle in
A
Time?
Wrinkle
Yeah.
in Time. No.
That's Oprah.
It is Oprah, but I mean it was a book first, right?
Yeah, that was my
a-
favorite book when I was a kid.
What? Are you
Really?
serious?
Is that
I've
old?
told you that so many times. Yes, I used to read it all the time when I was a kid.
Huh. I figured it was some new thing.
All right. In one sentence, what is it about?
Okay, it's about this family. The mom and dad are like crazy,
Nope.
intelligent scientists, and there's a tween type age daughter.
Too many
Her name's
details.
Megan, I think. And then they call her Meg, I think. And then she has like this 5-year-old little brother who's like super crazy intelligent to the point of like
All four of those people
clairvoyance.
can't be relative to the plot or
No.
important.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
It is.
Some of them die or are put in peril to be the MacGuffin for the main character. They're irrelevant to the plot.
Her and her brother kind of have this psychic connection. She's like 13 or 14 and he's like 5 and he's like kind of clairvoyant almost. Her dad goes missing. Her mom and dad are scientists.
Got it? Yep. I already
And-
predicted that.
It's so weird. Like I can't even explain. It's a total sci-fi book. He's like
You have told me about this. I just don't
inside.
remember 'cause
He's
I
like
usually fall
inside
asleep.
of mitochondria in
Yeah.
a cell or
There
something.
you go. That's it. That's all we need to do.
No, she meets like these
That's fine.
witches that help
So
her.
she goes on an adventure to save her dad.
Yes.
Right.
All sorts of different.
That's the one sentence.
Her and her little brother. And
All right.
they have other siblings, but
Yeah,
they're the
that's-
ones they're the
uh,
ones that aren't important to the
Nope.
plot.
No.
No.
We've already
I
had our
haven't-
one sentence.
I haven't read this book since I was like 12,
Okay. That's too bad.
but it's pretty good.
All right. Action-packed in every chapter, they're almost self-contained stories, but rely on other books to continue the story. If any of y'all are familiar with A Series of Unfortunate Events or Wind Calls the Heart, I know A Series of Unfortunate Events, but I don't know Wind Calls the Heart. Then this is the same storytelling format. I've only seen the first movie, the one that
haven't
Jim
even-
Carrey was in.
I haven't even seen that. I just knew it
I've
existed and it
seen
was
it
popular
on, but I've
around
never
when Harry
watched
Potter
it.
was popular.
Did you read Harry Potter?
Not that Harry Potter's not popular, but
I'm
yeah,
not-
I read Harry Potter.
Okay, that's what I thought. Where did you see this Rebels preview? Oh, this dates it. I haven't seen it anywhere or heard anything about it. Can you send me a link? I did. Jen's on-air reaction to yet another delay with Rebels was exactly mine. So if I understand this correctly, we only have 4 more episodes. That was a question. I said it as a statement. I can't believe that every show I watch never makes it to the 5th season, except Wind Calls the Heart. They're in their 5th season now. Is that like a CW show? I'd have to assume that's on
I've
some
never
not
heard of
mainstream
it.
network. 'Cause
So
I've never
that's
heard of
based on the books that she's talking about?
it. This is another book series called
Oh.
Wind Calls the Heart. When y'all said that Han would probably do the Kessel Run in Solo, a Star Wars story, I shouted in excitement. Han is my favorite original trilogy character, and I have been thrilled ever since I saw the plan for an untitled Han Solo movie. My only negative being that Harrison Ford is so amazing in that role, and I'm not sure that I can see someone else saying, "Punch it, Chewie," or, I don't know, fly casual. Can you? Yeah, I can.
I just did. Josh did it.
Yeah,
I can reimagine him doing it.
yeah. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm not going to go in already thinking just because it's not Harrison Ford that it's going to stink.
Yeah,
I'll let them tell the story.
yeah. I don't think I've mentioned this, but while viewing The Last Jedi, we had a talker during the quiet hyperspace jump into the
gosh.
ship scene.
Ugh.
They weren't too loud, just enough to be aggravating. The thing is there was no sound. So any whispering was magnified.
Right.
Because everyone else was dead quiet. Luckily enough, they realized their mistake and quit talking. May the mass times acceleration be with you, Maddie. That's force for those who don't know. Force is mass times acceleration.
It was good.
It's a physics joke.
It was a good science corner joke.
Mark Hamill got a Hollywood star this week. And there was a thing where Harrison Ford and George Lucas talked for him. It was kind of interesting.
Talked for him?
Yeah, they get people to stand up and say, "Oh man, he's so
yeah, they gave a
awesome."
speech about it. Okay.
Yeah. So it was interesting. The next email is titled "The Last Jedi." In quotes, sorry. Hello, SWNU crew. Oh, by the way, this is from
Nick. You didn't sign it. Yeah, it's from Nick.
I greatly appreciate in advance your attention to and humoring of my email.
8 months later.
I suppose I would be considered a new participant, as I emailed quite some time ago and haven't since. While I know you've moved past the Last Jedi feedback, I couldn't help but bring up a couple points that have been eating at me. Number 1, the complaint re Snoke's abrupt death and consequently the lack of information on him. If you encapsulate Palpatine's story to the original trilogy, how is Snoke's arc any different? Granted, Palpatine was part of the second and third installments versus the first and second, but their progression is otherwise virtually identical. I agree. 2, Rey's parentage. I absolutely agree with you that it makes all of the sense that Rey's parents are nobody. My knee-jerk response to the idea was that she should have been a Skywalker or a Solo, but
is okay.
Okay, was every Jedi in the prequels Legends EU a Skywalker or Solo? Condescendingly? That may be a fairly myopic, ignorant retort, but that's what comes to mind. Thank you so much for all of the work you put into the podcast and for taking the time to address my email. Sincerest congrats to Jen and Tim on the birth of Maximus. Keep up the fantastic work as parents and with the podcast.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. Thanks for sending another letter in. Hey, nerd leaders. This one's from Randall.
Yeah.
To start, thanks, Josh, for the writing advice. I'll be sure to incorporate it into my emails. #old talk. Jen, could you tell us the ways you thought Lost could have ended? You said in episode 13 or 14 of SWNU that you would state the ways it could end on the next episode, but you haven't said them yet.
Oh my gosh.
So how are the ways Lost could have ended?
I mean, in a million ways.
What's your top fanfic?
Give me just Jack. Well, let's try to narrow it down to like.
It has been so long since I watched Lost.
140 something.
Everybody just wanted some
episodes,
closure. They just like went in all these different directions and didn't tie anything up.
What do you mean? They pretty much got condemned for tying everything up very completely. Because people didn't like that. They wanted more ambiguity.
Yeah, well,
I don't disagree with that, I guess. There's some stuff that I can't, in my mind, I have a really hard time reconciling to the overall answers that were given.
Like, I don't know, were they ever really off? Like, when they got off the island, was that ever real? Because
yes.
When they came, how did they come back? Why did they come back?
They came back by flying on a plane. Why did they come back?
How did they get back there?
The island brought them back. Everything up to the point of the nuclear warhead exploding was real, in quotes. Everything after that was not real, in quotes.
So like when Saeed was an assassin and stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. I don't.
There
even
you
know.
go,
It's just
Randall. She has no
bizarre.
idea how it should have ended.
No, like, yeah. I'll
It should have
think
been
about
better.
And I said that I think I said that 3 years ago. I gotta rethink about it now.
Tim, I also love Phineas and Ferb in regards to episode 23. Oh boy.
I know. Like,
It was
how
my
do you-
chi-
He's re-listening.
I know he is. It's my childhood show. Me and my older, yes, he is older, brother used to stop work just to get ready to watch it on Disney Channel. Also, Josh, I realize this is not the first time you guys and girl said I liked it worse. Hashtag Troll Mason. If you remember that, I am currently at episode 26 out of 139 at the time of typing this.
I'm certain I've said it before because it's an accurate, completely functional, and correct grammatical statement.
Hashtag SWTLJ theory _Luke _and _the _future. So I have a theory about The Last Jedi at the part where Luke is looking over his sleeping nephew. Oh no. Josh, don't deny that quickly, please. What if Luke was looking into the future when he was staring at his sleeping nephew like a creep? We know that it is possible to look into the future through force visions.
Sorry.
Did Max poop on the podcast again?
Yeah.
It sounds like a soundbite thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, she's not. She thinks it's hilarious. He properly saw his Jedi temple burning and Ben stabbing Han and the terrible things that Ben then turned Kylo would do. Thus, when he ignited his lightsaber, he tries to stop and change the future, but that was what finally turned Kylo to the dark side. By trying to change the future, he caused it. Maybe that's why Luke felt so bad. It's impossible to change the future.
Or the Force wanted him to do that. So it showed him those visions. So that he would do it and make Kylo go fully dark.
You can blame the Force for everything.
Right.
The Force
We've
caused
established
it.
that the Force is in control of everything.
Or maybe Snoke did it.
Maybe. Anyway, that's enough for me. I hope you guys and girl aren't sick of me yet. I'll let you
No.
leave with this fun fact. The way Ben made his bad Jedi, not Sith, there are no more Sith, nickname, is he took part of both of his parents' original surname, Skywalker and Solo, and then you have to
He's
look
got
at the
the
way
KY and the LO in
Yeah.
bold.
Yep, you did that way better than me. Makes Kylo, and then Ren is Ben with an R. That one
Right.
is a little obvious. Using that rule, what would your baddie be? I don't know what name I would merge with.
His would be Lang.
Lang.
Yeah.
Anyway, may the force be with you, Randall Lee out. Jenny is famous for not answering Randall's questions.
He stumps me every time. That was seriously probably 3 years ago. He said episode 13.
Yeah.
Uh,
So she's gonna do it twice in this email.
yeah.
So what's your baddie name, Jenny?
What's your baddie name?
Oh, isn't there some kind of formula to it that he's talking
It's a
about?
vague formula of take 2 letters from each of your surnames.
Parents' names. So
Yes. So your mom's maiden name
Uh-huh.
and Pamson. Combine them in some way with 2 letters of each without mixing them up.
Okay.
It's
Huh.
you can't really
I'm trying to mix mine up. Yours is easy.
what's mine?
Jam.
Jam? What?
I
No
mean,
J in-
Jam.
John. There's no J in E. It's not my first name.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
Dunson. Mine would be Dunson.
2 letters from each.
Oh, just 2 letters? Oh, okay.
Oi.
I'm tired. So
he didn't get any sleep last night.
Mine could be Mac, or it could be
it would be Mac. Like It's Always Sunny.
no, like MAAK.
Oh,
Or it
that'd be
could be-
Mock.
Could be
Mock.
Asin.
Amto.
ASAN.
Amto.
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 It's a pretty lame name.
Yeah, I'm not scared of that.
I
Mine
feel like
would
you
be-
should be like writing prescriptions for like low-level medicines.
I'm a drug company.
Mine
Pharmaceuticals.
would be Voth. That's Van Autreve in the end of Smith.
There you go.
I think that was just some sort of like social security hack.
Maybe.
He's trying to steal our identities.
I'm gonna go step out.
All right.
And change
This
him.
one's probably out of your
I'll be
pay
back.
grade anyways. Hyperspace questions. The Last Jedi and fact check. Poe number 23. This is from Robin. What's up, SWNU?
Can we agree just to call her Chambana?
Chambana. No?
I like that.
What's up, SWNU? Hope you are all well. Number 1, The Last Jedi review. I loved it. My question is, how does Finn go from hours before in The Force Awakens, not being able to identify bonding tape for Rey on the Falcon, to a comprehensive conversation with Rose about hyperspace tracking technology, then explaining it to Poe? Question. This seemed like a pretty big character change to me. Thoughts? He knew how to take down the shield on Starkiller Base.
He knew a lot of stuff. I mean, they trained him, right?
Right.
He was exposed to a lot of different things on
And-
Starkiller
So here's the thing.
and in his other training environments.
I guarantee you there are people out there that can tell you like incredible level of detail on incredibly complex systems.
Like,
And then you-
like the Star Wars universe.
No, like I'm just speaking of people that I know at work that work on incredibly difficult things and they could tell you intimately how it works. And if I ask them for a pair of channel locks, they look at me like I'm an idiot. Right?
Yeah.
Because they don't do maintenance
they don't
on a
actually
daily
touch the thing.
basis. They
Yeah.
don't use tools on a daily basis. So that doesn't make them, that's not a leap to me, is basically what I'm getting at. It's
just-
entirely plausible that Finn knew all this really technical stuff, but then never studied basic maintenance because he never had to.
It was outside of the core competencies assigned by his
Right.
sergeant or
Exactly.
whatever.
Number 2. In Poe Comics number 23, which I haven't read, and
No,
we definitely haven't talked
that's-
about. But it's
a lot
obviously
of
a
issues.
little feeder, a little breadcrumb for The Last Jedi. They talk about tracking post-hyperspace jump. If you haven't gotten to that comic issue yet, maybe bookmark this for discussion when you get to it. The gist is, Leia tells Poe they can track him being a bad guy, when he drops out of hyperspace. My husband scoffed, saying, "That's stupid. Why would they write that out just after the movie?" To which I responded that tracking post-jump has always been canon, but depending on the jump, it doesn't mean you can arrive in time for it to be effective. Hus friend says, "But hyperspace doesn't take that long. Please, Science Star Wars, clarify this for us."
I've never seen that phrase. Hus friend?
No, I haven't either.
It's HUS hyphen friend. I mean, it's quite obvious what it means,
Yeah.
but I like when people teach me things.
A guy that overheard
Thank
our
you.
conversation while we were out totally spoke up and sided with me. He had muster.
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing with hyperspace is you can't turn because you might run into something. So there's pre-marked out routes that they know are safe to travel.
Right.
And for the known galaxy, they're pretty well documented.
And if you leave on a certain trajectory,
There's only so many places you
destinations
can go.
right?
And subsequently, if you end up coming in on a trajectory,
They know where you came from.
potentially,
Yeah.
at least they have a very clear range of places you came from.
Right. So they got this guy's gander up and he started talking to him.
Yeah, he backed up Chambana. Love the show and love all the Last Jedi discussions. Thanks for dedicating so much time to it. Nerd Out Robin from Chambana.
All right. This one's called A Lot of Star Wars Fun. It's from Angry Farmer. He sectioned it off for us.
Yes.
Greetings, SWNU team. Seems like a day doesn't go by that we don't get something new from the Star Wars universe. But first up, happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. May the love be with you.
We're catching up.
Heck yeah.
Now that he mentioned that, we haven't talked about it yet, but Jon Favreau is going to direct the live-action Star Wars series
Indeed
on
he is.
the fledgling Disney streaming platform that hasn't been announced.
How do you feel about that?
I think it could be good. I like a lot of his movies.
Yeah, I like a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
I think it could be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's much else to say at this point because we don't know
Anything.
timing, how much this channel is going to cost. We don't know anything.
Yeah, but I'm going to sign up for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we should. Seems
Share.
like a business expense, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it would be.
Right.
Solo trailer. We got our first peek of the solo trailer during the Super Bowl and the full trailer the next day. This was an interesting way to promote the film. 30 seconds for the masses, an extended trailer for the rest of us. As for the trailer itself, I am hopefully optimistic. I have a lot of concerns. There seem to be about 4 to 5 new characters introduced in the trailer. If Rogue One is any indication other than Chewie, Lando, and Han, these new movies will be killed off by the end of the movie.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think many of them will die because Han already doesn't have allegiance to anybody. So it's not unheard of that there will be people out in the galaxy that he has close personal relationships with that he has completely abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah, they could, I mean, all the characters surrounding them, we already introduced those characters, so they could be offed at any moment. Or they introduced them in the trailer or whatever. I liked how DJ was handled in The Last Jedi. He went off on his own, maybe setting up a future story. If they had done this with the character in Rogue One, they could write books about them, hearkening back to our previous discussion about new Star Wars novels. I haven't liked the new Star Wars novels that much.
Aside from the ones that we...
Claudia Gray.
Right.
Yeah. I want to like them, but
They're not bad. They're just not.
they just haven't been that interesting. And we haven't reviewed it yet. The one with all the from a certain point of view.
It's about 20% interesting. And then there's some terrible ones.
I've had a hard time finishing it. Like, especially when you're listening to the audiobook, when they're the droid sequences. It's like
or
that.
Some of the aliens.
Yeah, that would play okay if it was on an actual book, because you would skip it. You would just literally not read it. Anyway, don't get me going.
There's the new Thrawn book comes out soon. There's another book that was coming out.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was about something I was really interested in. Maybe that was the Thrawn book.
I'm trying to look what I have. It doesn't show my pre-orders. It's lame.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'd have to go to the website, eh?
Must. Yeah.
Live action series Disney Network. We've discussed this previously, but it seems like we are getting closer to a reality that we will be getting closer to this. Since you guys are big Game of Thrones fans, I'm sure you are excited about the involvement of the writers of the shows. While we haven't been given any details of the show, it could be interesting if it takes place essentially on the other side of the galaxy from the Skywalker clan. The network itself also seems interesting in that no R-rated movie and the additional new series that were discussed. Did I read that right?
Yeah, I don't think he finished his thought well.
And finally, this cost could be reasonable. I hear about $5 a month.
I highly doubt that.
Yeah, it's got to be $8 at least.
Oh, I think it's going to be more.
Do you really?
I think it's going to be like $12.99. That's what I think it'll be. $12.99.
All the rumors I've heard is that it's going to be cheaper than Netflix, but I don't know how they could. I just don't see them doing that because it's Disney.
Right. They don't need to.
Yeah, if they get this much behind it and all the Marvel shows, basically they pull a lot of the stuff off of Netflix.
Right.
Yeah, they don't need it. Going back to talking about that show, and we already talked about how.
Well, we didn't address this statement about
the Game of Thrones writers,
D&D,
and where it's going to be.
Yeah, we have no idea where it's going to be, and they're not doing a TV show. They're doing a trilogy of movies.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, they said live action series.
No. That's Jon Favreau.
That's what I was talking about.
No, I'm talking about Weiss and Debioff. He's talking about the producers of Game of Thrones.
But he at the top said live action series.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but all the
He is
Game of Thrones, so there's
incorrect.
two different things. Game of
Multiple
Thrones,
things have been announced.
Okay.
Was assuming that the Game of Thrones people were going to be doing a series, but they're actually doing a series of films. Favreau is doing the TV series.
Okay. You got me all messed up, Angry Farmer. Why don't you leap ahead a month
Yeah.
and get your news straight? That was a joke.
So yeah, we have no idea what they're working on. And when it'll be, we know nothing. Because we don't really know anything after episode 9 at this point. There's the much ballyhooed, rumored Obi-Wan potential movie. But
I bet.
we know that Rian Johnson is working on something, some trilogy. But there's been no announcements other than these people are working on things.
I bet the show is Firefly 2.0.
Favreau's show?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
The Last Jedi novel. In March, the novelization of The Last Jedi will be released. It's odd that the novel is released 4 months after the movie. Will you be reading/listening? I probably will, and I have some traveling in that time frame. Jen, will this be one of your book club books?
I bet not.
No, it will not be. I can answer that for her, so she doesn't give an ambiguous answer.
Once I have another spare Audible credit, I'd have no problem. I've read a lot of the snippets that are new.
I don't.
And there are
I
some
don't
very interesting. There was a lot of insights in the Force Awakens novelization that we got, just because you're getting inner monologue versus acting.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be insightful. I don't need it. Hi, Jenny. She came back.
And she brought
Did you want me to
equipment. No.
No, I just was surprised. I didn't think you would come back.
Just change his diaper.
Okay, you were gone like 30 minutes.
Well, I had to suck snot out of his nose.
That's the best.
Well, we got one of those
Yeah, I know.
suckers with the mouth.
Everyone has one.
The nose Frida?
Yeah,
It's so good.
it works.
I had no idea. I
Yeah.
made fun of the existence of them when I first saw them.
Everybody has those things now.
It's great.
They work.
Works really well, actually. It actually gets things out of his nose.
Yeah.
I got a ton out of there. He's got a really bad runny nose.
She goes nuts for taking things out of his nose.
I hate it because he hates it and he cries.
Yeah,
but-
all babies hate it.
Yeah.
Science Corner. Your favorite billionaire and mine recently launched his car toward Mars. While this was essentially a demonstration of the launch platform, it was a pretty cool way to do it. So what are your thoughts of SpaceX and other private companies now leading the way in space exploration?
I think that it sucks. I mean, it's nice that it's happening, but I think it should be a public trust, not a private enterprise.
Why are they doing it?
Why is who doing what?
Why is SpaceX even bothering? Where's the money in it unless they're getting contracted out by governments
That's
to do it?
Precisely what's happening. They're being paid. The majority of their launches, they're being paid, and they're making profit on those launches. And if they can get to a market-leading position with no competitors, then they basically make NASA go out of business. Because right now, NASA's in this weird limbo where it can't really launch its own stuff. And if it exceeds a certain weight size, they either have to pay for a Russian rocket, or they have to pay for a rocket from Lockheed Martin and I can't remember the other company, or they have to pay SpaceX for a rocket, because all of their in production rockets were cut to design a new launch platform intended to go to Mars.
Right.
And now the mission for that had changed under the Trump administration. Now he's said we should go to the moon. So they're trying to repurpose that same rocket for that. But the whole idea from a SpaceX perspective is you can become a monopoly in a field that there's lots of interest to put stuff into space, get stuff out of space.
Because we got to go somewhere, right?
Eventually.
We have to terraform Mars with nuclear bombs.
Maybe. But it's also a personal interest of his, so like he has motivation to do it beyond just the profit motive.
Yeah.
But there is a profit motive there.
Oh, yeah.
And imagine if he could charge people to go to the moon, right? You could print money.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Yeah. And if you're the only thing in the world that can do it.
Can take just like a schlub up there. Farm update. It's now getting close to the time of the year when we plant the crops and get new baby animals. We plan to repopulate our duck population this spring, recovering from last summer's disaster. We are also thinking of getting a pair of goats. Jenny.
Ooh, I wanted backyard goats so bad.
I don't know why.
So bad.
Instead, you got a backyard child.
Nothing is locked in at this point. I'll let you know how it goes. I think we should have bought that farm, Jenny. Remember that farm we didn't buy because it was like 5 buildings?
A tiny, tiny little house. The house was tiny and old and falling apart, but it just had a lot of other buildings.
The house wasn't that old. It was one of those, the house, like exactly like Tom's old house. The one on
Tom's parents' house.
Yeah, Tom's parents' house. Yeah, that same exact format. It was that house,
a split level.
Yeah, out in the middle of the whatever. So that's 70s, right?
Yeah,
those were all built in the 70s. T-shirt. It made my week when you informed me about the new T-shirts. These are awesome. I'm going to buy a bunch and give them out for various gifts. I would recommend that others do the same. We could have a whole team of pork farmers out there. Those are all my thoughts for now. May the force be with you, Angry Farmer. How many more are we going to do?
Do the next one.
We're hitting an hour.
This one's pretty long. You going to do one, Jenny? Since you were gone? It's the one that starts with, "Hey, gang."
Yeah, I'll do it. Hey, gang. Hey, Jen, Tim, and Mason. And then in parentheses, it says, "and Maximus. I know I haven't written in a while, and I've been meaning to. It's kind of last minute for my Last Jedi feedback, but better late than never, I suppose."
This one's from David Jeffrey.
I hope so. I saw the movie opening night, and I gotta say, what happened?
It was a lot to process.
It was a lot to process. I think I enjoyed it better the second time as I had more time to process everything that happened. The first time I was so caught up in wanting so badly for the movie to be good, I don't think I could really accurately express my opinion on it until a second viewing. I just watched it a third time last night, and I think overall it is a good movie. Before I go over what I liked most, I'll delve into my few complaints about Ryan Johnson's...
Giant Ronson.
I know what he meant.
Well, he said it on purpose.
Why?
I'm sure. I don't know why. Maybe he'll tell us.
You don't think that's just a typo?
It's like a Mad Magazine kind of thing.
I don't think it is. I think it's intentional.
Okay.
He even capitalized them.
Giant... Oh, okay.
Giant Ronson.
I didn't realize he did Johnson wrong, too. Okay, about Giant Ronson's installment. Rose and Finn's exciting, fun, and pointless adventure time. Finn needed something to do, right? Let's send him on an adventure with goofs, gaffs, casinos, caminos, and everything in between. Man, what a pointless journey. They go halfway across the galaxy only to get arrested because of a parking ticket and caught by the First Order almost immediately. It just didn't seem to serve the purpose of the plot at all. Whatever.
I have to pause. Forgot to answer one of Maddie's questions. Because she had asked how fast hyperspace takes, and we didn't answer it. This reminded me of that. So what's your impression of how fast hyperspace takes?
It's completely different, having watched The Last Jedi.
What do you think it is?
I think it's...
I think it's long car trip.
Doesn't it depend on where you're going?
Yeah, but I mean, in general.
It seems like it's like instant.
Yeah. It is now.
It's not, though. It took like 4 or 5 hours for Finn and Rose to get to Canto Bight. Not Canto Bight. Yeah, Canto Bight.
And they got all the way across the galaxy. We saw the map, remember?
Right. That's a long car trip. I seem to remember some of the old Legends books. It felt like it took longer.
They were in there for weeks. They'd be in there training and meditating for weeks in between. They were always getting calf from the fresher. You know?
Yeah, the refresher, yeah.
Yeah.
Calf is coffee.
I know what that is.
How do you know
Fresher is a fridge.
No.
No.
What's a fresher then?
Like a shower,
Like a-
sink, all in one type
Like
thing.
a kitchenette?
Sort of.
She's got this like, you guys are such nerds look on her face.
So anyways, my official statement is it's a long car ride.
This movie messed with me. I think I established that pretty solidly on previous podcasts.
All right, sorry for diverting this email, but I wanted to answer that.
Okay, Holdo, purple-haired, waste of a character in screen time. Her character was really annoying, and it didn't seem to serve much of a purpose to have her constantly sending Poe to the principal's office, which is pretty much what it felt like whenever she kept scolding him. I did, however, really like the lightspeed crash into the Star Destroyer, but that was definitely the only good thing to come from her character.
I liked her character the
Ouch.
entire time.
I did not like it the entire time.
I didn't dislike it at all. Luke drinking bantha milk and tossing the lightsaber so candidly over his shoulder might have been the most over-the-top and outright goofiest scenes in Star Wars. Superman Leia. Don't even get me started on this one. Just terrible. I looked over in the theater to my horror to see tears streaming down fellow fan's face. Jeez, that's like a tongue twister. Streaming down a fellow fan's face. I almost slapped them. Moving on. Maybe it was Jesus. Did they live near each other? I think a lot of people were like really touched. It was like such an extreme scene. You either thought it was like beautiful or you hated it.
I think there's a middle ground where people like the idea of it. They just didn't like the implementation.
It looked a little strange.
So
Yeah. Okay.
everyone's all over the place.
Moving on. Move along.
Move along. Move along.
Okay. Now
That's a reference from Star Wars, which is a film that our entire podcast is based on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she just gave you one of the looks she gives me.
Now to a few things I absolutely loved. The fight scene between Praetorian guards and Kylo and Rey. This was such an unexpected battle. I believe it's above and beyond the best scene in Star Wars to date, giving the fight scene in Phantom Menace between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul a fair run for their money, especially the Duel of the Fates music. I loved the chemistry between Rey and Kylo.
Raylo. That's the ship.
That's how you say
Hashtag.
it? Raylo.
Yeah, why would you say Rilo?
I don't know.
Yeah, Raylo.
Raylo. It's Raylo, not Rilo, stupid.
I didn't say it like that.
Okay. If you think about it, who is the most important person in Kylo's life? Rey. When they touched hands, they both saw each other's fates. If they had chosen to follow the other's favored path, the utter shock and disappointment in Rey when Kylo asks her to join him is to be expected, but the conflict Kylo faces is one of the most riveting and fresh plots of this trilogy. He is conflicted with following his friend and being with her, Rilo, but
That should be Raylo.
it says Rilo.
I know, it should be Raylo. Oh, Tim just deleted a whole bunch of stuff, so
What
it
the
shifted.
What is going on?
It shifted everything.
what to do.
Where did it go?
It's all at the top
Off the
now.
top.
Tim.
Hey, I'm taking care of business here.
But is so consumed with power that he ultimately cannot resist taking over the First Order. Empire 2.0. I also really loved the twist ending where Luke comes in and fights Kylo and ultimately is made one with the Force. The attention to detail in that Luke's feet didn't push away the salt when he slid his foot just added to the joy of a second viewing. Great stuff. David Jeffrey.
We'll do one more email. It's really short.
Yeah.
This one's pilot says lackey. It's from Andrea. She says, hi all. In the last episode, you said how you didn't have time to add Amazon links to the episode descriptions for the different books you review. If there's any way I can help with that or anything else, let me know. Did she just offer to produce my podcast for me?
No.
Also, Obi goes to a half-day preschool now, so I have more time to sew. What size is Maximus? And thanks for the birth announcement. He's adorable.
Thanks.
He's so great.
Well, when you wrote this, he was probably a size newborn. Now he's size 9-month.
No, he's
Just
not.
kidding. He's like 3 to 6 months.
Now.
He's really tight in his 3 months. So any day I'm going to start doing 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, he's going to be a fat baby. I've elaborated this before.
He's over 14 pounds already. Remember when we were talking about Disney and you're like, there's no way he'll be 15 pounds. He's over 14 pounds.
Andrew,
Is he over 15 pounds?
I'll send you the raw file here.
No.
All right, so was my statement that there's no way he would be over 15 pounds accurate?
I didn't say he'd be over 15 pounds.
All right, what did I say, though? Was I very clear?
An infant insert. There was an infant carrier for 15-pound babies.
And what did I say?
I don't know what you said.
I said there's no way he'll be over 15 pounds.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and check that mark next to accurate statement was made by me.
Hey, he's got 2 weeks left compared, according to you.
No, I said he has a week starting on Thursday.
So he has a week starting on Thursday.
So just feed him Crisco for the next 7 days so you can maybe vindicate yourself on the internet.
He's going to be like so roly-poly.
Okay. That's our podcast. We are everywhere on the internet. Find us on our Discord channel. Buy the t-shirts.
There's only
use the Amazon links.
4 pages of emails left.
We did quite a few.
Yeah.
We did a lot of side notes too.
Friday night, maybe.
Catch up on feedback?
Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
We need to catch up before our trip.
I still have some sort of strange vision that we're going to just be sitting around at night and be like, what do you guys want to do? Be like, let's record.
Yeah, because when you go to Disney World, there's tons of free time where you're like, geez, what do we do with all these spare hours?
My kids go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Right. That's what I'm thinking about.
When we go to Disney, we don't get home until midnight.
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean,
I'll be at home at 8 so my kids can go to bed.
I know, I'm just saying. It's different when your kids
We'll be partying.
I'm not saying it's going to be fun for us. I'm just saying that's going to be the reality. Because once you get there, you're not like, you feel like you have to cram in every single spare second of fun.
I'm going to do my 3 fast passes and maybe 1 additional line. And otherwise, just check out. See ya.
Well, I'm not going to I'm much more of a wanderer. I like to walk around and see stuff and walk up to stuff and be like, hey, this line's short. Let's go to the Hall of Presidents.
And then you're like, that's why this line is short. Why don't I ever remember that?
Hall of Presidents is awesome.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You and Nolan can watch. You can go through that over and over.
Yeah, my only regret is they got rid of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. All right, so Max is over there laying on the floor smiling.
He's under a playmat.
He's adorable.
Not just on the floor.
He's on the concrete floor, shivering. I mean, it's a deplorable
under a
scene.
wasp nest.
Yeah.
He's in the Nerds Unite studio, so anything could happen. That's it. That's it for the podcast, right?
For today.
Yeah. Fantastic Plastics are great. BenView Network, Retro Junkies.
We have t-shirts.
Boom. Already talked
on
about t-shirts.
TeePublic. We have a Patreon, I think, still.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have Patreon subscribers, and we appreciate them very, very much. They are literally the ones that are paying for our hosting.
Do we, this Snapchat is so dumb.
You're already sick of it?
I'm already just not.
Yeah, so everything's a left swipe. Unless there's an X. The interface for this is nuts. So think of it in 3 panes. So this is your main pane for them. This is you taking photos, and this is their crappy news feed. So
we need to make a group chat.
Yeah, but you got to do it out on the main chat screen, and you press this little plus sign right here.
Yeah, you'll have to do it. I don't have all your people.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll do it.
Yeah. We also Have we gotten any of the T-Public funds in?
I haven't noticed, but I haven't looked at the account in
Because I didn't add any of
4 or
our
5
info.
months.
See, this is one thing that this is gonna make me so angry.
The interface for Snapchat is extremely counterintuitive. Little kids get it, and they look at me like I'm stupid. But the same navigational features don't work from screen to screen. It drives me nuts.
How do I delete this?
Delete what?
That.
The team Snapchat?
Yeah.
Oh, well, mine oh no, I used to do it that way.
How do I delete this?
Um,
There, I just blocked them. For inappropriate content.
You blocked Team Snapchat. Okay.
Gone.
Well, we gotta follow each other. This is exciting.
Oh man, the things. Yeah. Go back to using some other messaging platform, people. You kids.
Kids these days. All right, you guys party on. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Perfect.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenViewNetwork.com.